Yes, ma'am. Boom. Thank you again. Okay, perfect. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, Sister Melva Muhammad out of Houston, Texas, one who is going to give us some information as well as some inspiration. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Well, like salam, sir.
This means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience who's watching the People's Podcast because we've been waiting to interview you and hear from you. My sister Naima has been very adamant about that. She was like, "You got to ask her this. You got to bring her on." I'm like, "Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." So, Sister Melva, the first question that we want to know is, what inspired you to start, your own school?
I would have to say, of course, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the need for us to have our own schools and to educate our own. And my father was in this business for a long time in Louisiana. And I had an opportunity to, to observe and see how he did things. And I also knew as a young child that I was going to work with children. I knew that.
Mm, mm.
And I knew that too, that once I got to college, I knew that I would own my own business. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. But the minister definitely was my inspiration for sure.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And speaking of your parents, how did they feel about you once you joined the Nation of Islam?
Just didn't understand.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They just did not understand because my father is a Baptist minister.
Mm.
My mother, she plays the piano. She's a pianist. She plays the piano for the church. She grew up in the church, and she's a pianist for several other churches. So I think it was just a misunderstanding. But now my mom, she's come with us to Savior's Day, and if I tell her, like when the Criterion was on, I said, "Mom, you got to turn on, you got to watch." So she made sure she tuned in. So I think we kind of closed the gap a little bit.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. First, my sister Miriam sends the greetings.
And your family.
Sister Sanaya, Sister Hania, and Sister Shirley and guys, thank everyone who's watching the People's Podcast and continue to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, well, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
That's a good question. I'm glad you answered that. I was a college student, like many of us, walking around on campus, oblivious to the world around me. And there was a sister, a young MGT sister. I never will forget her. Her name was Samira, a very bright architect major. She stopped me one day and she said, "Would you come and hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?" And I had never heard of the minister's name. And I said, "Yeah, I'll come." The brothers from Mosque 45 would come to Prairie View's campus on, I believe it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And she invited me, and that was the very first message I heard about the minister was Power in New York. And I was taken in. I said, "That's it." And I'm like, "Who is this man talking to these people like this?" And it was, of course, if you've seen the video, it's a classic now. There's so many Black people like, "Oh my goodness, they all come to hear this man." But that's how it happened for me. I was a college student. And the sister invited me out, and I came, and I started going like every time the brothers would come, I just kept going. And I started inviting some of my sorority sisters to come and go with me. And they did, but they never joined.
Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of your sorority, what made you choose your sorority? Like, what was so important about it?
Man, you asking all the questions that I wanted you to ask. When I first got to Prairie View, I'm little, I'm short, I'm pretty small. So when I got there, my RA was there, to meet. It was in the summertime. She was there to meet us and greet us at the door. So I remember, I never will forget this. And she came up to me and she asked me what was my name. I told her Melva. She said, "Where are your parents? Did they leave you here?" Said, "Your parents, you too little to be here. Your parents left you here?" I said, "Yeah, they're gone." And then as we became friends from that day on. We became friends, and she just happened to be at AKA, and she took me under her arms. She's a very intelligent woman, and she just kind of nurtured me and took me in like her little sister from day one, because she just felt like I should not be on Prairie View's campus without some adult supervision. And that's how it happened. She was very smart. She's a biology major, and she just became a friend and a sister to me, and I appreciated that.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. I'm sure my sister Miriam is very excited to hear you speak about, the AKAs and all of that good stuff. Yes, ma'am. once you came into the mosque in Houston, who trained you? Like, what was it like? Who was like running the sister side on that side at that time?
When I first came to the mosque, the sister captain at the time was named Sister Gloria.
Mm,
And I think maybe not even, but a few months later, Sister Valerie, now Sister Malika, became the captain. And Akila Nihanda's mom, Sister Angela,
mm.
I believe she was the first officer. So I kind of fell up under them. And we all have been very close since then. So that's pretty much how my training went.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And speaking of training, you have trained amazing children. We'll get to later with your beautiful family. But let's deal specific with drilling. I love drill. It seems that your daughters love to drill and have mastered that and impressed the whole nation. How much of that is due to you and your skill set of drill?
Well, they drill way better than me. No, I'm not nowhere on the level that they're on. I mean, I could do a little bit, but not like them. And not at all. They put as my husband mentioned to you, they put a lot of time in it. So a lot of it is them, and of course the drill instructors. Yeah.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am, and
Thank you
shout
for
out to the
that.
Houston Junior Vanguard drill team and especially your daughters.
Thank you.
Um, have you had the opportunity to meet the Most Honorable Souls Farrakhan?
No, not in person.
Yes, ma'am. And okay, so many people are liking and sharing, and thank you. Please give you the greetings and people showing
Oh,
you.
please be told I thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, when dealing with first of all, what's the name of your school?
The elevated places.
The elevated places. Yes, ma'am. I had the opportunity to go with the Most Honorable Souls Farrakhan to visit the school and visit the mosque. And when I went there, I came back to Atlanta. I told everybody, I said, y'all got to see it. Like, you can't believe it. And so many students, so many people, and they just have all gone on to do amazing things. What is the key to you all producing these children? Like, they grow up and, do great things. What's the key?
Just really striving to do what the minister asked us to do, and believing and following the vision of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and just trying to really instill in them what we've been taught. We are the cream. We are the creme de la creme. We are what they say we are. We're, as the Rock of the South was saying, "You supreme, girl." So yes, they are supreme, and we really try to enforce that every morning in our spiritual morning routine. It's a high. It's a spiritual high before you even get to class, and it resonates within the teachers and the students.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am.
We just try our best to follow what the minister says, and we have to be excellent. We can't just talk about it. We have to be about it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, as someone who's in school for education to be a teacher, and other people who are aspiring to do the same thing, what advice would you give to us who want to teach in public school systems and things like that? What advice would you give to us to make us want to have our own school like you did?
Because there's a need for us to, well, I would definitely say pursue education, and then students will probably love you. There's always a need for a male presence. The education field is, predominantly women. And it's always good to see a male presence, because that always helps with the young brothers. They want to see a male there. And I would encourage you all to go for it, to do it, but come back and help the nation, because we need it. We need our own schools. I mean, you can look at the condition of our people and see that we have to educate our own people, like the messenger said. That's the only way we're going to get out of this, if we do it for ourselves.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes,
I can't wait. I can't wait to come to your classroom.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, and it's gonna be amazing too. I'm telling you.
I can already tell.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Naima Muhammad says, "Assalamu alaikum. What advice would you give to parents who homeschool?"
What advice would I give to parents? Just I don't want to answer. Make sure you're doing it right. It's so much information on the internet that you can find. That's the most important thing, is to look up curriculums and Make sure that they're learning what they're supposed to learn at a particular time frame, or even go beyond that. And don't put limits on your child on what it is that he or she can learn.
Mm,
Because with homeschooling, you can create your own schedule. You have complete control. So you can teach them what it is that you want them to know. That's the benefit. That's what I loved about homeschooling, is that I have the opportunity to teach my children what I think they should learn based on what we've been given. I had control. So you don't have to worry about what others think or others say. But the sky is the limit. But just make sure you're doing it right. You know, keep grades, keep a record book. You want them tested, you can order tests and test them. So it's no limit. We're not limited because we're homeschooled. In fact, we're better off
mm.
if we do it ourselves.
Praise be to Allah.
Go
Yes,
for it, Naima.
yes, Mel. And then my next question is, as a woman, there has been some misconceptions dealing with women in Islam and in the Nation of Islam as well. Do you feel suppressed or oppressed as a woman in Islam?
Never. You know,
Mm,
and the minister, he tells us we can be whatever we want to be. The sky is the limit. And I know I have daughters. I have 5 daughters, and look, I'm still talking and encouraging and inspiring based on what he said. And I always tell them, you don't want to be the person at the table that don't know. You want to be the one that the minister can use in helping building this nation. So you have to do this. You have to do that. You don't want to just be sitting there, minister calling you. You can't help the minister do nothing to build a nation. So
mm.
no, we can, you know, the sky is the limit. We can be whatever we want to be. And he's never suppressed or oppressed us. Never, never.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. I saw, well, I always see one of your sons on Facebook, Brother Trabar, traveling, and he speaks Spanish, and the Spanish was like one of the hardest classes I've ever taken in my life. The second hardest class I've ever taken in my life. Like literally, it's just frustrating. I don't even whatever. I don't even like watching movies with subtitles after I took Spanish. I don't even deal with it right now. But when I see your son traveling, I see your daughters, everybody. Just what advice would you give to future mothers in making free Muslim children? Like, what advice would you give to them?
I only can give them what the minister said. You know, we say the world is ours, and we own the square footage of the world. So when we put things in front of them for them to aspire to do and to be, and then we help them to do that. Yeah, Jabbar was in Puerto Rico with the Black World Order organization,
Mm,
but just don't limit them. Don't limit them. And I would say to parents, because this is something that I'm experiencing, when they do get older and they're ready to go travel, just say a prayer, call on Allah. Because we tell them that they're gods of the universe, that if they are, then they have the right to go see it and explore it. And that's I stay on my prayer road.
praise be to
Now
Allah.
they're at
Yeah.
that age where they want to go. Because my son Aziz, I think maybe about a month ago, went to Mexico City.
Mm,
Lord, let me pray. Because Mexico City is bigger than New York. It has more population than New York. And let me pray, because that's all I can do. He speaks the language well, so
mm.
he know how to move around and get around and stay safe. Praise be to Allah.
Okay, beautiful. Speaking the language well, is that something that you taught in your house, or is that something that you taught at elevated places? Like, how are they so bilingual like that?
Well, I want to take you back to, I remember Rashida and Rashid were very young, maybe like first and second grade. And I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say that we should learn 3 languages. One
Mm,
was Spanish, Arabic, and French. And then he gave the reasons why. And because, and at that time, with Sister Malik and I, we went after it. So we hired an Arabic teacher, we hired a Spanish teacher. But Spanish it just made more sense to us at that time because we live in Houston, Texas, which, I always say we live in Mexico.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
we hired a Spanish teacher, and I do some basic Spanish. I do teach them. It's more sentence structure and vocabulary. I still do that now. So I get them ready for the Spanish teacher. But that's just something that we pushed at the elevated places, and I still push it, that they have to learn how to speak more than one language. You can't be comfortable speaking one language. They have to. They have to continue to learn it. And we took those 2 trips to, the students did an immersion in Costa Rica for a month. And that was a large delegation from the elevated places and the parents. And then when we went to Cuernavaca, the delegation was even larger. I think it was about 28 people
Mm,
all went. Most of them students, but of course we had to have parents to come to stay with them in the host family's home. But those immersions really help. Like for my oldest two, that just took it to another level. When they got back, that was it. That was like the catalyst. That was it. And then when they went to college, they took it. And then one summer, Aziz, the year before he graduated, he ended up going to Chile for the entire summer where he worked. He went through the university. And when he got there, he worked at a company that's similar to AT&T here.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he went to the university there. So I'm encouraging you, Naima, and all of you all who have young children, if you're going to want them to speak a language, start now.
Mm.
Don't wait till you become an adult. And then life, life is life. And you have a whole lot of other things that's going on, but start now. Start while they're little. It's easier for them to learn. But we shouldn't be comfortable just saying we speak one language.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And I went to Orlando about two to 3 weeks ago, and I was with my sister Miriam, and there was somebody we were trying to find out. I wanted a turkey leg, and there was a couple that only spoke Spanish, and I gave my limited, Spanish, and my sister started laughing, but the people, they understood a little what I was saying. And I was like, okay, thank you. See, I know a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I know enough to say something, you know what I'm saying? I know enough to say something.
But can I tell you this just to kind of make you maybe a little bit more comfortable with it? I think it's one of the most easiest language to learn. Sometimes you have to find the right material that works for you. Yeah, and what we want to do is more conversation. And so that's what, when the Spanish teacher comes with the students now, is geared towards conversation. And when you do an immersion, that's what you're going to get, a lot of the technical part, but you're going to get a lot of the conversation, because you're going to be going different places where you're going to be forced to use the language. If we dropped you off in Mexico for the summer, you would be bilingual when you came
back. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And I also, so this whole time I was having trouble in conjugating verbs. You saying all I had to do was reach out to you, and you could have helped me dealing with it.
Have you ever heard of Google?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. No. No, yeah, I heard of it.
In fact, we just worked on that. We conjugated a few verbs this week. The Spanish teacher gave them an assignment, and they didn't quite understand about changing the form. So we did the assignment. It was their homework, but we did the homework in class. So when she came, they would be ready. That's for my younger students.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful. And so many people are showing you love in the comments. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Sister Melva, I have a few more questions for you, but before we go, I want to give a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of this month's People's Podcast. I want to thank everyone who continues to sponsor and donate to the People's Podcast. Hold on one second. I have this season of course we see other places starting us up, but yes, we have so many people who have sponsored this month. I'm grateful. If you would like to be a sponsor donor, please cash at the People's Podcast. Starting with my brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Thank you very much, Rashad. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. Please go out and get those. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. She also has teaches in the studio right here in Atlanta. If you want to go in person, we love our tiny dancers. The NTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off out of the West Coast. They'll ship vehicles to you anywhere in the country. Thank you very much. Also, Raw Publications right now, what we offer, she does copy editing, project management and content development, media relations, and consulting. This is Sister Rashida. She does a great job. If you need help writing a book, contact Raw Communications today. They offer copy editing, proper project management, content development, media relationships, and consulting. The phone number is 872-215-5155. We're coming right back to Sister Melva at the Elevated Places, where I am what God says I am. This amazing school that is out of Houston, Texas, will teach your children not only how to be a god, king, and a queen, but they teach them Spanish in a world where, you know what I'm saying, where apparently it's so easy. It's just the easiest thing in the world. Thank you, Sister Melva. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. Hip Hop Detox, our brother Enoch out of Chicago. It empowers youth and young adults towards a healthy lifestyle choices with a holistic approach. Thank you very much, Hip Hop Detox. Asiatic Minds is an online school. It's a new school that teaches kings and queens and young gods virtually all across the country. Thank you very much. AsiaticMinds.com. Thank you very much. Sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen is I, Poetry and Apparel. Sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen is I, Amazing Poetry and Incredible Apparel. Thank you very much, Sister Latasha. We're coming right back to our Sister Melva so we can have a few more questions for her. Fresh and Clean LLC, sanitize, fresh and clean sanitizing.com. Also, Elevated Places Inc. This is a adult counseling, youth life management, youth counseling, 229-344-1474 out of Albany, Georgia. Thank you very much, Brother Aaron. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're coming right back. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services out of Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. Last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Thank you all for the sponsors and all of the donations that people make. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Lovett. Boom. Okay, now, Sister Melva. What has been the biggest difference between you raising sons and daughters? Like, what's the biggest difference?
We're listening. Because I think the girls have probably been because of the teachers that we give them the same thing that we get in MGT class. So spend a lot of time with them, just trying to make sure they're on track. And they have some of the same responsibilities. Everybody has to wash dishes. Everybody got to wash and fold their clothes, and everybody had their chores. And sometimes I know the boys would say, "Well, the girls don't have to do this," and the boys would say, "The girls don't have to do this," but y'all all have to clean. So yes, we all came to that. Try to be balanced. Try to be fair. Even though they didn't always see it like that, and I'm sure they're mumbling right now. But it's true. They didn't, we didn't let the boys off doing chores, and we didn't let the girls off doing chores, and we pushed all of them to do well in school and to be good Muslims, to be good Muslims, to be good people, and remind them that they don't just represent themselves. That's something that we would say all the time. You don't just represent yourself. So when you go out this door, just be mindful of that.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And what about your husband? How important has he been in your life?
Oh wow, that's one of my inspirations. Him, he's that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
wonderful supporter. Actually, I really could not do what I do, the Elevated Places, if it was not for him, because in truth, he makes it possible for me to do what I do at the Elevated Places. And in fact, every home that we've had is turned into a school. Every home that we've ever lived in has been a school at some point. And I couldn't do that if he didn't agree to do it. I couldn't do it. But so I thank Allah for him, just kind of going to him very gingerly and saying, "Can we use the house for a school?" No, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, a wonderful supporter. Definitely my inspiration and very encouraging. Just gonna support whatever I pretty much want to do, and it's in line with what we're doing as far as the nation. We're not gonna say no.
Praise be to Allah. And what advice would you give to future wives?
Just go to your MGT class and to apply what we've been given, because it works. I've been married 36 years, going on 37 years. And what we get in that class, it works. If we just follow the instructions of the minister on how to handle our husband, and if we just do what we're supposed to do and be what we're supposed to be, it should, fall in place. Everything should fall in place. Everybody got a role. Men got to play his role, the woman got to play our role. So I'm playing my role, and I'm letting him play his role.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Well, Sister Melva, we spoke earlier about the albums behind me. What type of music do you like to listen to?
I'm R&B.
Okay.
I like R&B, and I do have children, younger children, so sometimes I get a chance to listen to what y'all listen to. Yeah, I may not always understand it all, but usually what's going to catch my attention is the beat. I may not hear all the lyrics, but later when I'm like, what is she saying, or what is he saying? Yeah.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
like R&B. I like R&B music. I
Beautiful.
do
Yes.
like some rap. Tupac is actually my favorite rapper. I don't care.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I don't care
ma'am.
what Jay-Z does. I'm like, he cannot have rap pop, period. Hands
Yes,
down.
ma'am. Well, I'm a big Death Row Tupac fan as well. I've actually been watching interviews back to back for like the last 3 days just about Tupac and so much of him. So he's definitely a phenomenal character. So I would have never guessed that you like Tupac like that, but yes, ma'am.
Don't tell
uh,
me.
yes, ma'am. What do you do for fun, Sister Melva?
Um, I do like to exercise.
Okay.
That's my relief and that's my fun, exercise. I like to do it. And really the elevated places. I cannot think of anything else that I would want to do outside of doing what I do. I really love working with our children. I love that. I love that.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
Can I
What?
say something? I don't.
Yeah.
I just wanted to because you did ask me something when you were talking about what's advice that I would maybe give to some parents. But I just wanted to say to the parents that whatever you have your children involved in, just be consistent. If you're consistent, then you'll get the results. So if you start something, you got to finish it until the end. Your program.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotta be
And
consistent.
with you have 7 children, correct?
8.
Me and my siblings, we would always argue about, does my mom's have a favorite? Does my dad have a favorite? And we all think that everybody does, and it's the opposite person. With 8 children, how do you not show favoritism out of 8 children? Like, how do you do that?
Mm. Well, I heard the minister once say that I don't want to misquote the minister. He said that you always have a favorite, but nobody has to know it.
Well, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest with what.
But because at some point they all get on your nerves and you love them. So I can't say I strive hard not to be unfair or to be biased. But sometimes the babies they weigh on me. I'm the baby of 5, and sometimes those younger ones they kind of lay on.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are my babies. Yeah.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Sister Hania Muhammad says it's me. She's saying she's the favorite. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Oh, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I said, would you ever write a book on your personal life?
Would I ever? I can't say that I wouldn't, and I can't say that I will. But I have had at least 2 people that ask me, you can tell me, you should write a book. You really should write a book about, your life and your children and your family. You really should write a book. So I don't know. I won't say that I won't do it. I'm not going to say I won't do it. I'm not going to say I will do it.
Yes, ma'am. What would you like your legacy to be?
Hadn't really thought about it in that way. But I would just say that I want my children to know that I tried to help the minister.
Mm.
That I tried to help the nation, and by way of the elevated places. So I guess if I had to say a legacy that I tried to help.
Praise be to Allah. And a great work that you have done. Sister Sanaya Muhammad said, "Who's the favorite? Don't be scared."
Oh, those are the twins talking.
Okay. Oh, hey. Okay. Yes, ma'am. They're famous for drill, but they're also infamous for just being destroyers of the stage. I mean, my goodness. I mean, every year they're studied and imitated off. I think since 2011, probably one of the most imitated drill teams of all time, for sure. Yes, ma'am. I want to thank everyone who's watching the People's Podcast. And I want to thank our guest, Sister Melva Muhammad, and for your sacrifice, the sacrifice of your family. On behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, you all do a great job. Houston, my number 45 just does a great job. And when I went to the school, I was so impressed to see the students and to see the product, just watching people, after they graduate, go into the world and do great things. That's a beautiful sight. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, Mel.
Thank you, Brother Joshua.
Thank you, Sister Melva, and thank your family.
Oh, yes, sir. Yours too.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, family.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, here we go.